Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Alright, so today I'm taking a look at the CRKT Provoke in Desert Sand. Let's check it out. Now this knife has been on my wish list since its launch. And a couple weeks ago I saw that they were releasing it in Desert Sand Cerakote, so I finally pulled the trigger and got myself a Provoke. So I'm sure a lot of you knife guys have seen 1,000 videos on the Provoke already, but for those who don't know, it's a morphing karambit designed by Joe Caswell, and it has what they trademark, kinematic action. So what is kinematic action? Well, check this out. Boom. That's right, so when this first came out, it was the first ever kinematic forward opening blade. So when I first saw it, I had to have it. But the only thing that was holding me back was, what do I need a karambit for? It's mainly used as a self-defense knife, and I couldn't really see myself carrying this as an EDC blade. But when we talk about blades being used for self-defense, realistically, any blade can be used for self-defense. Heck, I can use a butter knife in self-defense if I was desperate enough, but a karambit is specifically made to be used for self-defense. That's why you have this oversized loop right here to fit your finger through, and now you're in the reverse position, and this thing could do some definite damage. But what about carrying this specific knife for everyday carry? Will it open packages? Sure. Will it cut rope? Absolutely. Will it cut paper? Yes, it will, but this wouldn't be the first knife that I reach for any of those tasks. So then you're probably still asking, why did you buy it? Well, do I really have to explain? Look how cool that is. I mean, this is easily one of the most fidgety knives in my collection right now. But before we go any further, let's talk some features. So the handle here is made of 6061 aluminum, and the hawkbill blade is made from D2. Now D2 is excellent for edge retention, but it's not so great with corrosion. So how do you counter that? I don't know. How about Cerakote it? That's right, the older Provokes had a titanium nitride coating. This one is Cerakote. And not only is this hawkbill blade Cerakoted, but so is the 6061 aluminum on the handle here. And this thing is absolutely beautiful with this Desert Sand Cerakote on it. Check this out. And then we have all the black accents. We have the black arms right here. We have the black lock, all the black hardware right here, and the black pocket clip. And this thing is razor sharp right from the factory. It does have that nice chisel grind right here. And realistically, you wouldn't think that a chisel grind would be so darn sharp, especially straight out of the box, but check this out. I mean, just razor sharp. All right guys, now let's talk about dimensions. So it has a blade length of 2.41 inches and an overall length of 7.25 inches. When it's closed up, it's 4.96 inches. And they say it weighs 6.10 ounces on the website, so let's test that. All right, so let's drop this bad boy on my scale here. And it says, all right, 6 ounces, so that's close enough. And 6 ounces in grams is 170 grams. So as you can see here at 6 ounces, it's not the lightest knife in the world. All right, so now let's take a look at this kinematic action a little bit closer. So we have this upper crossbar right here, and you can see it does have some jimping right there. And just with the slightest bit of pressure from your thumb starts this reaction of these arms that move forward and just snaps into place. And yes, it does lock into place. We had the locking mechanism right there. And all you have to do to unlock it is just put a little bit of pressure, push it over, make sure I don't cut myself, and snaps right back into its resting position. And man, is this thing snappy. So let me push it up just a little bit. And if I push it down just slightly, listen. See, I tried to go real slow. It still snaps into position there. And I think that's part of the reason why I think this thing is so addictive, because it just snaps every time you open and every time you close it. And talk about fit and finish. I mean, when it's closed up, this thing is like a little brick. And everything works so seamlessly. See how the end of this arm fits right into this little groove right here? Of course, that's by design. So watch when I open it, and you watch this piece right here fit into that part. Watch this. Let me see what I'm saying. The fit and finish on this knife is phenomenal. And let me talk about how comfortable it is while it's in your hand. So all these little arms here are contoured and rounded. So when I have my forefinger through the loop, my other 3 fingers are touching those arms here, and there's no hot spots at all. And that takes me to another smart feature of this knife. the pocket clip. So as you can see, the pocket clip sits completely flush within the body here. And then right here at the very end, we have some jimping. So all we have to do is put a little light pressure on the jimping there, and check that out, the pocket clip deploys. And then it uses itself for tension, so all I had to do is let go, it just snugly rests right back into the body there. And it's gonna use that same tension to grab onto the outside of your pockets. And you wouldn't think just by looking at it, but this thing is a deep carry pocket clip. You can see here what it looks like in my pocket, just a tiny little bit is sticking out of the top there. So with the pocket clip sitting completely flush, with all these curved rounded edges on the handle, and the curved rounded edges on the arms here, this is just surprisingly comfortable to hold. And when I say this is one of the most fidgety knives that I have in my collection, I wasn't joking. I'll just be sitting there watching TV and I'm deploying and retracting it 100 times over again, just because it has that nice smooth deploying action and that satisfying clicky sound. And yes, it is possible to open this knife just by having this position in your pocket the right way. And if you have it in your pocket just the right way, when you pull it out, it will catch your jeans here and deploy right away. But I got that to work maybe 5 out of 20 times trying it out. I'd much rather just pull this out of my pocket and click it forward just like that. Now in New York State, a karambit is legal, but they say you must be trained to carry this legally. Now for me personally, I do have a martial arts background, but I've never been trained on how to use a karambit. And where I live in New York State, gravity knives used to be illegal, but recently they overturned that. And that's a good thing, because this could be considered a gravity knife, because if I tilt up a little bit, if I just slap down really hard, it does deploy. So that alone would get me arrested, heavily fined, and probably get my knife taken away from me. But thankfully, that gravity knife nonsense was abolished in New York State. And yeah, I picked this up for about 200 bucks. So do I care that I paid $200 for a D2 steel knife? Absolutely not. I am not regretting this purchase at all. In fact, it's one of my favorite knives in my collection right now. And as much as I like this knife, there are a few negatives. The first negative I already talked about, is its weight. Yeah, at 6 ounces, it's gonna weigh down your pockets. But I've actually carried heavier knives, so I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. And my second negative is just the sheer width of this knife when it's retracted. Lengthwise, when it's retracted, it's pretty short, but I'm just talking about the sheer width of this guy. So I don't really like having my wallet or my phone in the same pocket as this. It's just too much. But other than those two small negatives, I think this is a fantastic knife by CRKT. And real quick, let's do a size comparison. So let's open up the Provoke, and here's a Benchmade Bug Out CF Elite. So I'll put that right next to it. And right here we have a Spyderco Paramilitary 2. Actually, let me turn them all this way so we're not resting on the pocket clip. And then right here we have a Benchmade Crooked River. So you can see the size comparison for these four. So it looks like when it's deployed, the closest length is gonna be this Benchmade Bug Out right here. If you guys have a Paramilitary 2, you can see when they're both deployed, the Paramilitary 2 is much larger. And then not even close sitting next to the Crooked River. The Crooked River just dwarfs that thing. And when they're all closed up, it looks like the Provoke and the Bug Out have a very similar closed length. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. What do you guys think of the CRKT Provoke in desert sand? Yes, it's pricey for a fidgety knife, but I am not regretting my purchase at all. And even though it's a little clumsy, I can still do it one-handed if you just go like that. So deploy, flip it up, use your thumb, snap it down. So I can do this over and over again and not get sick of it. Now, I will leave links below in my description box where I picked it up. Like I said, I picked it up for $199.99 and worth every penny. But if you guys did enjoy this video, please give me that thumbs up. Please subscribe and go!